So you returned to Impact in February. So how did that come about?
I remember it being April actually because the way I remember it was part of WrestleCon weekend, and it was just a match, Sabu and myself wrestling the Lucha Brothers, and maybe if it wasn't WrestleCon, maybe it was some event in February that I thought was WrestleCon, but it was just one match at first, and then Scott Demore in the office, says, "Hey, what do you think about doing this handful of matches?" And we looked at some dates for October, and agreed to some dates, and then it was through Bound for Glory, and then recently we've added some more dates to it, so now I'll be with Impact at least until January.
Great. Yeah, that's great. And I watched the Impact Wrestling documentary recently featuring you. And in it, you said how you've grown up, and you said looking back in your 30s, you didn't know or you didn't feel grown up compared to now. So, how have you grown, since your 30s or whenever?
Well, to be honest, I think that the main thing that made me grow up and actually forced me to change, like my values didn't change, but my priorities did. And here's what happened. I got divorced from a long-term marriage. We were separated probably 15 years in. It took another 5 years till the divorce was final, and it got ugly, and I didn't want it. I looked at it as a failure, so I went. As you see in my movie Headstrong, because I'm real honest about this time period in my life, I kind of got dumped on. I felt like got separated, and all they had was my dog, and then my dog died, and then my dad died, and it was like I was like so low. I went through a deep depression, and during that time, it completely changed everything that was important to me because I couldn't think big picture. I couldn't even get to the end of the day. The only way that I got out of it, well, there were several things, but the one thing mental that helped me get out of it was I had to live like each moment by moment. Someone told me to do that, and I was like, I could enjoy happy moments and plug into that, but I couldn't think past that, and that was what got me to like actually feel joy again. I had to rebuild myself, and when I did with different priorities, I'm now a grown up. Like when I think about what happened before that, my outlook on the world, my time with WWE, decisions I made, the way that I talked to people, the way that I thought people looked at me, it was like completely different. So that's what happened. Like in my mid 40s, I now feel, like I've like I understand life more than ever. It's a complete different page. It's a different relationship with the universe, really, in a way that it's so rewarding right now. Like I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm in a great relationship. Katie Forbes is amazing, and I look at the past, a lot of it, like wow, like knowing what I know now, I wouldn't have stuck in that marriage. I wouldn't have fought the divorce because I didn't know life was going to be so good now. And where I thought I was happy before, I was complacent, and I can look at a lot of feelings that I had back then and realize that I was looking at them from an immature perspective. And have you ever heard the expression, like if you get into sports, if you become a pro athlete or if you get into the entertainment business as a kid, you stop aging at that age. You ever heard that?
Yeah, I've heard that expression.
I kind of think that I fell victim to that too. I got into pro wrestling right out of high school at 18, and honestly, I feel like I just always had. I've always been successful. I've never had to deal with problems that other adults, that were so grateful to have their position and be on the road and not have to work that job at Home Depot that they used to have to. I never had any of that. I got right into it and was always like making
Yeah, exactly. So you mentioned a little bit about Headstrong, your documentary. How did that come about for you to, have a documentary and, bring it to the world? What, I guess,
Yeah.
where did you, get the idea to do that?
So sometimes I do stand-up comedy, and the plan was a 7-day road trip of me doing stand-up comedy. Let's bring the camera and film it. And Tom Garland was a comedian and was my the one that managed the trip, and he brought his friend who came to film, and I showed up for the tour with concussion symptoms. And at first, I thought, I would just ignore it and it would go away, and the show must go on. And then I just tried to keep going, but I had double vision, and I kept thinking I'd wake up fine the next day, but I never did. And so it became an issue. And so the movie and my life became about my vision impairment that I had gotten from this one concussion. So then I have to, after the tour, I have to go get checked out, it's a neurologist, and had to get CAT scans and MRIs and vision therapy, and I bring the camera with me, and this is all happening live with you while you're watching it. I'm putting everything out on the line, saying, hey, what if I do have CTE? Let's talk about that. Hopefully I can inspire people. But truth is, and I learned a lot from watching the movie back. I did everything wrong when I got that concussion. You need rest, and I felt like I need to stimulate my brain. I've had hundreds of concussions, but 99% of them are the symptoms are gone in 10 seconds. And then I've had a few, very few, that last until the end of the night. And then this one, 6 months later, 12 months later, I was in vision therapy, and it was still getting better and better and improving. But I learned that the doctors, they don't really know that much. They could only guess in what they were telling me. You think I'm going to be 100%? Yeah, I do. When? I don't know. And it was like it's a relatively new study, so a lot of what they were able to tell me was guesswork. And they cleared me to wrestle when my vision was still a bit messed up. But they knew I could wrestle because I did it a couple times before I was cleared anyway. The doctor told me that if I got another concussion, it would have nothing to do with my previous concussions, and that it would set on its own. That would be its own. And so that backs up a theory that I always believed in. And most people say the more concussions you get, the more susceptible you are to them. I don't know if that's true. I've never believed that to be true. And my neurologist agreed with me that with all the concussions I had, that this one was just its own thing. And it wasn't even a hard hit. It was lame, but it gave me double vision. And what I should have done was rested. That I stimulated my brain, because that's what I thought I needed, and it took a lot longer to heal.
Yeah, I've noticed your Twitter feed, and you bring up concussions a lot. So it seems to be a very important topic for you. Are you hoping to maybe or do you talk to younger wrestlers about concussions and rest that they need or anything
Well, I'm
like that?
talking to him right now by through this interview. Everyone that's listening, and you know why it's so important to me is because my friends, so many of my friends over the years, they get a lot of concussions, and then they get long term damage, and then what can happen? It does happen. Is then they get depressed, and then they kill themselves. We've already lost 25 wrestlers this year in 2019, and several of them are from suicide. And some of them you know about. When it happens, they want to respect the family, so they don't even tell you the cause. I want everybody to know, if you outlive me, I want you to know what I went through so everybody can learn from it. And it's real important to me. I'm trying to continue the discussion because we're talking about possible cures for concussion damage. We talk about, they say stem cells, they say oxygen therapy, they say CBD. Okay, want us to keep talking and come up with something so that we can put this behind us, and it could be a thing of the past where we used to not be able to treat it. And when we can treat like CTE or concussion damage, we'll also be able to treat Alzheimer's and maybe even other depressions. You know, that's it's all very related, and it's important to me. I love life. I don't want something taking over my brain and making decisions for me. And that seems to be what happens when my friends decide to tie a rope around their neck. I don't want to do that. So that's why it's important to me. I don't want any more of my friends to do that.
Right, exactly. Yeah, on a lighter note, getting back to Impact, what's it like being in the locker room now? You know, we have guys like Ken Shamrock, Moose, Sammy Callahan. Like, so what's it like being around, that crop of people?
Yeah, it's so cool because everyone is very respectful. All these young guys, they've come up to me at different times and expressed how excited they are to share a dressing room with me. And that goes a long way with me. A lot of them tell me that the reason that they wrestle is because they used to watch me, and they're risking sounding like a mark, the ones that do say that. But for them to open up like that, it means a lot to me, and it also puts me in that position where I realize, and I realize they all grew up watching me, and I see it, my influence and all their moves and stuff. But when they tell me that, then again, it makes me feel more like a grown up. The wrestling business has such a wide spectrum of ages that a lot of times we don't even see an age. You know what I mean? Like I could be hanging out with Dory Funk Jr. and at the same time with someone young that's coming in, which is Katie Forbes, for instance. There's such a wide spectrum, and it used to be that you had to be like in your 40s before you even got respect in the business, like when I broke in. But the style was different, so now it's a lot younger guys. So most of the older guys couldn't do the style nowadays. So that's something that changed. But it's really cool being in the dressing room like that, feeling respect with everybody. I haven't seen Shamrock in a while, so I'm excited, just like everybody else is, that he's coming to Las Vegas, and especially that he's going to teach Moose a few lessons. I've enjoyed the argument that's gone back and forth with on Twitter with these two guys, and it's been pretty good. They're getting pretty personal. So Shamrock's a bad dude. I'm looking for him to, as I said, teach Moose a few things, because Moose is a good wrestler, but he does have a few things to learn.
Yeah, and you mentioned your sign or you have dates with Impact until January. Do you have any plans, after I guess January? Do you think you'll still be with Impact or maybe other pursuits?
Well, I always have a bunch of things on the table that I don't bother talking about because there's so many projects, reality shows or movies or movies that are trying to be made to try to materialize or this or that. And so, that's what's exciting about life, is knowing that anything could like pop up, and it wouldn't be out of nowhere because I've talked about doing everything with everybody at this point. When I think some bookings outside of Impact, and somebody asked, and although I don't necessarily want to go all the way to what was it, not Qatar, somewhere in the Middle East anyway, but someone asked about a date in February, and I thought, that's really far to go to the other side of the world, but money sucks, and he's talking money, and I thought, I'm going to run it by Impact just to make sure if I am going to be with Impact still, I want to see if there's a conflict of dates. So even though I'm not booked with them afterwards, it's worth checking sometimes to see if there would be a conflict, because then I can say, hey, I'm giving them first option. In other words, I can say, hey, should I take this date? And if they say, well, we're not even running that week, then I'm like, oh, damn, I guess I got to go get that money and get investment.
Right. Do you have
Going to
any?
South America, by the way, bro, in a couple weeks to do stem cell therapy. You might have seen some of the wrestlers promoting this on social media. They're hooking the boys up with like hundreds of millions of fresh stem cells that they can't do in the States, and they're talking about it curing everything from bad eyesight to compressed discs and arthritis and everything. So I'll be going to check that out. And in October, I'm going to be representing South Africa with Justin Gabriel. He's working with a new promotion that's to be a startup show down there, and that's at the end of October. So there's always things like that besides Impact that keep me at least as busy as I want to be, maybe a little busier.
Yeah, I bet. Well, yeah, I guess I should let you go since, you seem to have a busy media day today. So, yeah, I don't want to keep you longer than I should. But yeah, it's been amazing talking to you.
Cool, and you, yeah, I appreciate you helping us get the word out for Impact this week. It's Samstown here in Vegas Thursday and Friday, and TV taping, so all the fans that come out, see yourself on TV too. Yay! And thanks for letting me talk about Headstrong. Everybody can follow me. It's a real RVD, and it has been a pleasure, my man.